set to go in Nashville. Right now the temperature 74 degrees, a slight chance of thunderstorms later in the afternoon. Very foggy to start, but that has cleared out as we are set to go between the Titans and the Jaguars. Tennessee won the toss. They deferred to Gus Bradley's Jaguars. Bradley in his second season, and this is the first season for Ken Whisenhunt, trying to bounce back after that epic collapse last week against Cleveland. 12 touchbacks this year for Tennessee kicker Ryan Suckup, and back deep for Jacksonville is Jordan Todman, averaging 26 yards per kick return. Week 6 of the NFL on CBS is underway, and Todman will take a knee. Here comes the rookie Blake Bortles, making his third career start, 3 touchdowns on the season. Needs to cut down on the interceptions. He's thrown 2 picks in each of the last 3 games.
And Gus Bradley told us yesterday, Andrew, that the key for Blake Bortles is not to try to carry the weight of the world on his shoulders and win a game. He's got to focus on just getting better each week. The wins will take care of themselves.
Toby Gerhart not playing today. So Storm Johnson, the 7th round pick, is the starting running back, and he gets the call on first down. Let's take a look at the Jacksonville offense. Brandon Linder, another one of the rookies starting on offense for Jacksonville alongside Luke Bowenko. And we just said Storm Johnson gets the call at running back.
And you said it, Andrew. He's a college teammate of Blake Bortles. Told us yesterday that the NFL is all about opportunities. He's been dreaming about this one for a very long time.
No gain on first down. It's 2nd and 10. They go back to Johnson, and he gets about 3 yards on the play. That'll bring up 3rd down as we look at the Tennessee starting defense in Ropati Patuatoa. Really had a nice game last week against the Browns, making 5 tackles. At linebacker, Derek Morgan ejected last week, but he's appealing his fine. We'll keep an eye on him today. And George Wilson gets the start for Bernard Pollard.
Yeah, 9th-year player out of Arkansas. George Wilson started his career as a wide receiver and was such a good special teams player and athlete. They asked him to switch positions, and he's better than just a passable safety. He's a good, smart, solid pro.
Jacksonville 29th in the league on 3rd downs. 3rd and 6, and the pass is caught by Allen Hurns. He's had some problems with drops. He had 3 drops last week, but he brings this one in for a first down.
Well, Tennessee came with some pressure off the edge, and fortunately for Blake Bortles, the receiver opened up pretty quickly. He made a nice throw to Allen Hurns, contested very nicely by Jason McCourty, but a nice catch right there for the Jaguars.
Pickup of 10 for the rookie out of Miami. Todman out of the backfield makes the catch, and he's forced out of bounds by Jason McCourty. It's a little damp out on the field, something to keep an eye on today here in Nashville.
And once again, Jed Fish, offensive coordinator at Jacksonville, trying to get Blake Bortles a nice, easy completion. Now on that 3rd down, that was a nice throw that Bortles made down the field. On this one, the offensive line tried to cut the defensive line of the Titans to get the ball out quick, and even then, Bortles had to double pump to get it by the defensive end.
Jed Fish, the offensive coordinator, Chad Henne now the backup quarterback standing right next to him. He's been a big mentor for Bortles throughout this process. On 2nd down, Bortles to Clay Harbor. He's got it for a first down. Down the sideline, Harbor cuts it back, middle of the field at the 10, and tackled by Griffin at the 8-yard line.
Well, tremendous job by Blake Bortles. Look at the hit he takes from Jarrell Casey right up the middle there. Boom, right in the ribs, and delivers a strike down the field to Clay Harbor. We were going to look at that matchup. Michael Griffin, safety on Clay Harbor. Boy, look at that hit right in the ribs. That hurts me just looking at it.
A 59-yard pickup, and it's 1st and goal for the Jaguars. Johnson trying to get to the outside, and he's tackled at the 6-yard line.
Well, here you're going to see this play again. Right here is Clay Harbor's going to run up a corner route right here, and watch how the play action holds the linebacker, draws the safety up above, and you see Clay Harbor actually came across the field from the left side. The ball delivered on the money. What a great throw under pressure by Blake Bortles.
Yeah, that ball came out and wobbled as it flew because the defender got there. Casey got there just as he released it and actually made the pass wobble without affecting the flight of the ball.
That's longest catch of Clay Harbor's career. 59 yards.
Very strong arm.
2nd and goal. Bortles, time over the middle, incomplete, and a flag comes in late. The intended receiver was Allen Robinson, and it was Damian Stafford on the coverage. Today's referee is Jeff Triplett.
Pass interference, number 39 of the defense. That foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. First down.
Right at the top of your screen, right up there, you see him grab him on the shoulder right there as he goes by to try and kind of, it's more for DBs. It's almost to catch their balance as they turn rather than get an advantage, but they can't do that. It's just a reflex action so many guys are fighting against this year in the NFL.
First and goal, Storm Johnson looking for his first career touchdown, and he's got it. Jacksonville marches down the field, and they punch it in to take a 6-0 lead.
Well, that is huge for the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a team that's only been in the red zone 7 times this year. Prior to that time right there, Storm Johnson showing some power. Second effort, driving in there behind an offensive line that was kind of stalemated at the line of scrimmage. Great job by the young running back to stick his nose in that end zone.
Well, you see they're running behind Josh Wells. He's a rookie free agent who's helping out on the offensive line. This Jacksonville Jaguar team, even when they're at their best, they start 6 rookies on offense, including their quarterback, and today Storm Johnson. 2 offensive linemen normally start, and Josh Wells, who's a rookie free agent, is also on the field. You will never see a younger unit than that in the National Football League. It's unbelievable how young Jacksonville is, and they just drove down and scored a touchdown.
Josh Scobie on for the extra point, and it's good. First Jacksonville touchdown in 6 quarters, going back to week 4 against San Diego. Clay Harbor's big catch set it up, and Storm Johnson set it up. Jacksonville and Jed Fish up 7-0. What a start for the Jaguars. A 7-play, 80-yard drive capped off by the touchdown run by Storm Johnson. First time this year that the Jaguars have scored a touchdown on their opening drive of the game, and just the second time they've scored a rushing touchdown on the season. Scobie will kick it away, and Leon Washington is back deep for Tennessee. Washington at the 20, down the sideline. Leon Washington tripped up at the 46-yard line. A 49-yard return by Leon Washington.
Well, you want to know why he holds the NFL record for TDs, pickoff returns in a touchdown. This is it. Hits it full speed, doesn't change direction, just kind of veers to one side or the other, gets out to midfield. What a sensational return. That's why Leon Washington is on the Tennessee Titans roster.
There really is an art to that, isn't there? I mean,
yeah, it's a gift. I mean, you can't teach it. You got to have it in you got to have it inside you to do that, because it's not easy.
Jonathan Cyprien may have saved a touchdown there. First and 10 for Tennessee, and Sankey is thrown back by Senderick Marks. Bishop Sankey starting today for Sean Green, and Charlie Whitehurst starting for the injured Jake Locker. Locker hurt his thumb last week against the Browns, did not practice this week, so this is just the 6th career start for Charlie Whitehurst, now in his 9th NFL season.
That was a big-time play by Senderick Marks right there to set the tone for the Jacksonville defense as well.
Go back to the ground, and Sankey, and again, not much doing. It'll be 3rd and long for Tennessee as we take a look at the Tennessee starting offense. Taylor Lewan, the rookie first-round pick, gets the start at left tackle for the injured Michael Roos, and we're going to see a lot of Bishop Sankey today, Steve Tasker.
Yeah, he's a young quarterback, and he's got a lot of upside, but the one thing they were worried about is, does he know who to step to if they're bringing extra pressure? Now, Jacksonville doesn't do a lot of that, so the coaching staff kind of breathes a sigh of relief in that regard, but make no mistake, Bishop Sankey has to do something better in the backfield than he has in training camp.
3rd and 11, Whitehurst in trouble, and he just throws it away. That Jacksonville front 4 applying the pressure. Good coverage downfield as well by Jacksonville.
Well, Delaney Walker right there was the only guy that was open, I think. And Charlie Whitehurst, I think one of the problems last week, as you see the pressure bearing down on, one of the problems he had last week in the second half was indecision, not making the good, quick decision, getting the ball out there. I think he had a chance to get rid of that football. Delaney Walker was open.
So the Titans had great field position after the kickoff return by Washington, and they go backwards. Brett Kern kicks it away, and Ace Sanders waiting for it at the 9. And Sanders is tackled at the 15-yard line. Great start for the Jaguars. Blake Bortles and the Jacksonville offense coming back out.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine. Verizon XLTE on America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network. And by the all-new 2015 Honda Fit. The new Fit is a great fit for you.
$7-0 Jacksonville in front of Tennessee. Earlier this week, veteran cornerback Alan Ball made an interesting comment in the Jacksonville media. I don't think there's any guy in this locker room who's not pressing for a win. We want to get that victory, not only for ourselves, but for the coaching staff and for the organization. Now, Gus Bradley is a very positive guy, and he talks a lot about the process and getting better each week. So it was interesting to hear a veteran like that say, hey, we need a win. And Gus Bradley, when we met with him yesterday, told us that he addressed the team this week after he saw the comments from Alan Ball and said, guys, that's a good thing that you want to get the win, but don't lose sight of the process. We have to keep getting better, and then the wins will come. On 1st and 10, Storm Johnson up the middle across the 20-yard line.
You know, Andrew, on that note, that is truly a summary of what Gus Bradley is all about. That is his sole focus. When you talk about him, he does not, in general, want people focusing on the result. He wants them thinking about what it takes to get better each and every day and trust that the result will come.
7-yard pickup on 1st down. They go back to Johnson on 2nd down, and he is stacked up.
You know, it's interesting, both these clubs coming in with young running backs. Storm Johnson, who Gus Bradley said during the preseason he had the best instincts of any running back on the roster. That includes Todman and Toby Gerhart. And Storm Johnson, there's so much to learn for a young running back, as I've been talking about Bishop Sankey about who to step to and who to block. Storm Johnson is the same thing, although with the ball in their hands, both these young running backs are very special.
Let's go, Rip. Let's go, Rip. Rocky.
3 receivers for Jacksonville on 3rd down and 3. Bortles, quick slant to Shorts, and he's got the 1st down. Cecil Shorts did not play last week. He's been battling a hamstring injury. First time this year Jacksonville's had its full complement of wide receivers.
Right here, you're going to see what's going to happen a lot today. All the pressure up front. Tennessee is going to try and provide a lot of exotic looks to confuse Blake Bortles. Right there, kind of backfired. Blake Bortles found the right matchup, got rid of the football to a strike.
Todman on 1st down for Jacksonville. Bortles has 4 completions to 4 different receivers so far in this first quarter.
Yeah, and you can bet that now that as Jacksonville steps up to the line, they're not going to huddle. They're going to raise the tempo a little bit, which I think is a good thing. Blake Bortles has shown his ability to handle this. One of the reasons they felt confident about making him the starter.
Once again, it's Todman at running back, play action. They dump it down to Shorts, and he is stuffed. That is Damian Stafford again making the tackle. He was called for the penalty in the end zone on the first drive.
Well, you'll see Bortles going to come back, the play fake, and then get rid of the ball once again very quickly. All this play action here early and the quick releases by Bortles is all by design by Jed Fish to get the ball out of Bortles' hands, because they do anticipate the pressure that Steve talked about.
3rd and 7, Bortles fires left, and it's incomplete. Bleedy Ray Wilson got a hand on that one, and Jacksonville is forced to punt.
Well, this is something that Jacksonville knew coming in. They knew that the Bleedy Ray Wilson back in the lineup this week. He's a very aggressive corner. He's going to sit, squat on some routes, try and make a play. They may have to try and stretch him, scare him a little bit by running a double move or just putting the ball deep down the field with Blake Bortles.
Dexter McCluster back deep for Tennessee, and here's Brian Anger, the Jacksonville punter, averaging better than 47 yards per punt this year. 6:56 to go first quarter. McCluster at the 22. And he's wrapped up at the 25-yard line. A 45-yard punt for Brian Anger. Tennessee trying to get on the scoreboard when we come back. Thursday, football starts here when Rex Ryan's Jets take on Tom Brady and the rival Patriots. Another big-time matchup in primetime on CBS and NFL Network. That's this Thursday. Always a battle, especially with these coaches, Rex Ryan and Bill Belichick. And Belichick's had the better end of the battle with 5 division titles since 2009. New England is in Buffalo today, and the Jets are hosting Denver. Well, Tennessee has allowed 33 straight points going back to last week against Cleveland. 3 and out on their first possession. Here's drive number 2 for Charlie Whitehurst and the Titans. To the air on first down, Kendall Wright. And he is forced out of bounds by Demetrius McCray. Gives us a chance to take a look at the Jacksonville starting defense. Chris Clemens, 32 years old. He's got 2 sacks already this season. At linebacker, Geno Hayes is 4th on the team in tackles. 7th-year player out of Florida State. And we just said his name, Demetrius McCray, gets the start at corner.
Well, he's the 2nd-year player out of Appalachian State, but very, very positively, Coach Gus Bradley said that he may be the smartest defensive back in the defensive back room.
McCluster on 2nd and 4, and he finds a hole, and he's brought down short of a first down. Tackle made it the 35-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 1.
We look down here, this Taylor Lewan, the rookie out of Michigan. Red Bryant pushing him down the line, and making sure that rookie doesn't get the most out of his first couple of snaps in the NFL. Lewan, one of those guys that even his teammates, he's real talkative for an offensive lineman. Usually though he has to say too much. We had him in the room yesterday, and he was a chatterbox.
3rd down and 1 for Tennessee. Whitehurst to Delaney Walker for the first down. Gets away from Cyprien. And Delaney Walker stepped out of bounds at the 46-yard line. But a big pickup of 19 on 3rd down.
This is going to be a matchup that I think the Tennessee Titans are going to try to exploit all day. Delaney Walker, the most productive tight end in the NFL this year, is a guy that is very hard to cover one-on-one in the open field. Jacksonville likes to play a lot of man-to-man coverage, putting a lot of pressure on Jonathan Cyprien and Josh Evans as safeties trying to cover him.
McCluster lined up as a wide receiver at the bottom of your screen. Whitehurst in trouble. Alu had him and lost him. Whitehurst keeps the play alive and just throws it away. Looked like Tyson Alu had a great chance at a sack, but credit to Whitehurst to escape.
You know, one of the things about Whitehurst, he does have some ability to get out of the pocket and extend plays, but he has not been very good once he is broken contained. He doesn't complete a lot of balls after he gets chased from the pocket, and he did make a couple of good runs earlier in the season to get first downs. But the Jaguars don't believe he's a runner. He's more of a scrambler to throw, not a scrambler to run. And they're going to use that to their benefit. If they can get him to move around out of the pocket, they feel like they're ahead of the game.
That was a good job by Charlie Whitehurst there, though, to avoid the pressure, get rid of that football, keep him from a negative play.
Sun coming out in Nashville. It's 2nd down and 10. Whitehurst, the screen to Washington. And he's still on his feet. Great job by Leon Washington. The extra effort gets him a first down, a gain of 11.
Well, you're going to see a screen set up very well, but Washington actually got out in front too far. You're going to see he swings across right there. He's in front of his lineman a little bit, but makes 3 Jacksonville Jaguars miss tackles. It's amazing. He really did not execute that screen very well. He should let his big offensive lineman get out in front of him. You got to be patient, but thank goodness for the Tennessee Titans. He made a great personal effort to get it done.
Hey, thinks he's returning a kick, just like we saw earlier on.
Will Blackman missed the key tackle there for the Jacksonville defense. Sankey on first down, and he can't get past Cyprien. Brings up 2nd down. Well, with NFL Mobile, you can stream live local Sunday afternoon, primetime games, and NFL Red Zone right on your mobile device. You can learn more at NFL.com/mobile. Jonathan Cyprien, second-year player out of Florida International. He was the first pick of the second round in the 2013 NFL Draft. Third on the team in tackles this year for Jacksonville. Second down and 9. Whitehurst over the middle has McCluster for a first down. McCluster turns on the Jets, and he's tackled at the 10-yard line. Josh Evans with the tackle, but a gain of 25.
A good job by Lawan, the left tackle right there, picking up the blitz off the edge, and then Charlie Whitehurst standing strong, trusting his protection, delivering the ball to a guy that I think Tennessee really needs to try and establish each and every week. You got to find ways to get the ball to number 22, Dexter McCluster. I think he should get between 5 and 10 touches a game minimum, because he's the kind of guy to make those kind of big plays that they've been lacking.
That's the longest play this year for McCluster. And on this drive, Whitehurst has 4 completions to 4 different players. Sankey gets down to the 7-yard line. Ziggy Hood makes the tackle.
It's interesting. We did the Cleveland game here last week and watched them, you know, after they got the big 25-point lead, and it all came apart in the second half. But now this week, you're seeing guys like Dexter McCluster and Leon Washington be incorporated more into the game, more in short passing yardage. They did not do that much and hadn't done it much in the first month of the season. But when they're on a skid like the Titans are, I think more and more guys are going to have to be asked to do more and more. You can see that today in who's catching the football.
Second and goal. Whitehurst to McCluster. Oh, he's drilled at the 3-yard line. Big hit by Cyprien, and it brings up 3rd and goal.
Let me tell you something. That is a tough little guy. Listen to this hit. Wow. You know, he is fearless. Charlie Whitehurst, a dangerous throw, putting him on him right there. That ball could have come out.
10th play of the drive. It's 3rd and goal for Tennessee. Whitehurst steps up, and he's not going to get away this time. The 17th sack of the season for the Jacksonville defense.
Yeah, I think one of the things that happens when you get a backup quarterback coming into the game, it's hard to be efficient in the red zone, even for an elite quarterback, let alone a guy who's been watching for a month and a half. When you get down here, the defensive philosophy changes, your offensive philosophy changes, and it's really difficult to be on top of it. And of course, Charlie Whitehurst stepping up in the pocket. If it's not there immediately, I mean, you may just throw it through the goalpost, because that's what's going to take.
Well, everything compresses and speeds up in the red zone, and you're right, quarterback has to make quick, decisive decisions.
25-yard field goal by Ryan Suckup is good. Tennessee is on the board. It's a 7-3 game in Nashville.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. And by Fidelity Investments. Tap into the full power of your Fidelity Green Line.
Back in Tennessee with 44 seconds to go in the first quarter. Tennessee is on the board after an 11-play drive, but the Titans had scored touchdowns on 5 straight red zone trips, held to a field goal here by the Jacksonville defense. Cyprien made a big play, and now Jordan Todman is back deep awaiting the kickoff from Suckup. That 6-minute drive by the Titans, the longest drive against the Jacksonville defense this year. It's a touchback. Jacksonville football. When we come back, it's week 6 of the NFL on CBS.
Watching the NFL on CBS.
Tonight on 60 Minutes, meet the most wanted man in the world. He avoided arrest for years and spent millions on his escapes. See how he did it. 60 Minutes tonight, only CBS. 1st and 10 for Jacksonville from the 20-yard line. 44 seconds remain in the first quarter. Storm Johnson on first down, and he maybe gets a yard. Toa Tua makes another tackle for the Titans. Tennessee has lost 7 of its last 8 home games dating back to last year. Take a look at some of the early leaders here in the first quarter. A good start for Blake Bortles, who's 5 out of 6 for 80 yards. No gain on first down. It's 2nd and 10. Bortles steps up, pump fakes. And now he's going to keep it himself, and he's got the first down. Great job by Blake Bortles to be patient and get the first, a gain of 11.
We've seen 2 examples of what makes Blake Bortles special, in my opinion. Right here, it's going to be he steps up in the pocket, sees nothing up the field, can run and get the first down. We already saw the big throw while taking a hit earlier.
That's the end of the first quarter. Jacksonville leads it 7-3. Michael Roos on the right, out for the year, the Tennessee starting left tackle, and there the man sitting down, number 77, Taylor Lewan, the first-round pick, taking his spot at left tackle. Start of the second quarter. This is the 3rd time this year that Jacksonville's had the lead at the end of one, but hasn't helped things. They are 0-5, still looking for their first win. Bortles fires right, pass is caught, and that is Allen Robinson with a first down. The rookie 2nd-round pick out of Penn State picks up 15.
Well, you see the compressed formation that the Jaguars came out of right there. What that does, they saw something in the scouting of the Tennessee Titans defense. They felt like they had a good opportunity to compress into one of those tight formations and use the field, use the sideline to throw the football and get a nice pickup on first down. Good use of formation and personnel by Jed Fish.
Team leading 23rd catch for Allen Robinson. It's 1st and 10. They toss it to Todman, and that's a great job by Avery Williamson to bring him down. We go back to New York, JB and Coach Cowher.
Cincy evens the score.
Yeah, A.J. Green is missing today, so is Marvin Jones. Someone has to step up, and it's Brandon Tate. This 5-yard touchdown pass does a great job of breaking the plane, ties it up against Carolina 7-7.
Andrew, Steve, and Steve.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Bengals trying to bounce back after that brutal performance last Sunday night against the Patriots. Todman lost 1 on first down. It's 2nd and 11. Bortles, screen to Robinson. Has the 50, Denard Robinson with a first down.
Well, this is Denard Robinson. We talked to him yesterday. He seemed very excited about getting a chance to get involved in the offense today. This is the first time we've seen the ball in his hands. Does a good job. You know, he's a former quarterback. Looked like a running back right there. He said his instincts are getting better and better as he gets more reps. That was a very nicely executed play by the whole offense of the Jaguars.
Robinson has thrown 1 pass in his career. That was last year, and it was incomplete. This is Allen Robinson, and he can't get away from bleeding Ray Wilson. Ray Wilson did not play last week because of a concussion, but passed all the protocol in practice this entire week, and it's a good thing he's back because Cody Sensabaugh is not playing today. He suffered a right knee injury against the Browns.
This Tennessee defense, once again, lining up 5 guys as if they're going to rush pressure every single time, making sure that Blake Bortles never gets a free play to take a play off mentally. He's always having to decipher exactly who's coming and who's not.
Storm Johnson up the middle, and he gets to the 40. Al Woods makes the tackle for Tennessee.
Now, this is something that Blake Bortles is going to have to get used to seeing. Look at all these people up in the box on 1st and 2nd down. They're going to try and take away the run game, and they've done a pretty good job for the most part. Jacksonville has not gotten the running game going. Right there was a good 4-yard gain. I'm impressed with Jed Fish, though, sticking with the commitment to the run game, despite the fact that Tennessee is trying so hard to take it away.
Jacksonville 2 for 3 on 3rd down so far in this opening half. It's 3rd and 7. Bortles in trouble, and he's sacked. Jaguars quarterbacks have now been sacked 22 times this year. That's the most in the NFL.
Yeah, there's only a 4-man rush, and they got good penetration all the way up the field. Bortles tried to step through between the rushers and just couldn't get it done. 7 guys in coverage. All the guys in the secondary were covered up for Jacksonville. Bortles tried to pull it down. It could not make. That was well defended by Tennessee.
Anger has to punt it away, and this is a high knuckleball. Doesn't go very far, and McCluster with the fair catch at the 18-yard line after a punt of just 26 yards. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and annual screening saves lives, and you can help finish the fight against breast cancer by visiting NFL.com/pink. To celebrate the NFL and American Cancer Society's first ever A Crucial Catch Day. That's set for October 25th. A lot of pink in the stands and down on the field and up in the booth. We're all wearing our pink ribbons on our jackets this week as well. 1st and 10 for Tennessee. Play action, Whitehurst throws, has a wide open Justin Hunter who falls down, but nobody touched him. Hunter gets up and he gets to the Jacksonville 45-yard line. Great awareness by Hunter to get to his feet and pick up 38.
Well, as this play, he's going to come right off across the formation, deep down the field, gets in behind Cyprian, and Cyprian, he just lets up. I don't know why that doesn't click with more defenders. You see more and more guys just run by the guy with the ball after he falls down catching a pass. They don't touch him. He gets up, gains more yardage.
Tennessee goes no huddle. Whitehurst again to the air, and he overthrows a wide open Walker. He'd still be running if that pass was on target.
You're going to see the left tight end coming up the middle field right here. Just run straight down the middle of the field. Good job identifying the coverage and the right opportunity to make a play up the field. But that's a throw that Charlie Whitehurst has to make. He came out on the first play, very decisive, good play action pass, makes a nice throw up the field, and right there had a chance for another one. Could have just really driven the point home for this Jacksonville Jaguars pass defense that has been very susceptible all year.
Specifically the tight ends. Tight ends have burned Jacksonville throughout the season. 2nd and 10. And it's Sankey up the middle. And he gets 3 yards on the play. That brings up 3rd down.
When we talked to Ken Wisenhunt yesterday about Charlie Whitehurst, they spent a year together in San Diego, and he said one of the reasons Charlie has managed to hang around the league is because he's a tremendous 7-on-7 player. When he drops back, he sees the field and makes throws. The problem is we put a rush in his face, sometimes not quite so productive, but you saw there, that was a throw. I know Charlie Whitehurst wishes he had back. That throw to Walker down the seam was a touchdown.
3rd down and 7. Whitehurst feeling the pressure, and he is sacked. Give that sack to Andre Branch. A flag comes in, and he's also going to get called for grounding.
Now that'll be loss of down.
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 12. It's a loss of down. It'll be 4th down.
Well, I don't know if this truly is intentional grounding. He's got his arm restricted, I think, by Branch. Right there, that right arm is being held. I don't think that should be an intentional grounding play.
Let me guess what position you used to play.
I'm serious. If you got your arm held.
No, that's a sack, and he tried to throw the football. It doesn't matter, and it's lost it down. There's no question.
If the referee knew that his arm was restricted, they would not have thrown that flag. There's no, you can't. If you can't get the ball, it's like a tip pass. Doesn't have to get to the line of scrimmage.
Well, now Gus Bradley is challenging. Let's see if we can figure out what his question might be.
He may be questioning whether it's a fumble. He talked about the arm being slapped right there.
Yeah, if the ball was slapped out, yeah, he was, and that's probably, Bradley had a bad angle from his sideline. It was behind the play.
Jacksonville is challenging the ruling on the field that it was an incomplete pass and an intentional grounding.
And they are going to challenge it. It's a bad challenge, but maybe if you say that, if you're making the argument, I don't think
his arm held.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Aflac. Ask about it at work. And by Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It was a forward pass. It is intentional grounding. Jacksonville is charged their first timeout and their first challenge.
So Gus Bradley loses the challenge. We go back to New York. Our officiating expert, Mike Carey, and that seemed like a pretty clear call there, Mike.
Yes, it was a clear call as far as the ball was not fumbled, it was thrown. And the rule on this is that if the throwing motion starts after the contact, it's the responsibility of the quarterback to get it to the right spot. Intentional grounding was the right call by Triplett.
Thank you very much, Mike. And Gus Bradley loses a timeout for that challenge. He's now 1 for 2 on challenges this year as his punt goes in the end zone. And Jacksonville will get the ball at the 20-yard line.
Steve Berline is openly disgusted with that interpretation.
I still disagree with that one.
You can access all of today's football action on the go. Download the award-winning CBS Sports app right now for instant scores, breaking news, video, and more. It's all on your phone. 9:39 to go, second quarter. As Tennessee's defense is back out on the field after that punt. Jacksonville in front 7-3 with the Steves, Berline, and Tasker. I'm Andrew Catalan. We thank you for joining us for Week 6 of the NFL on CBS. Blake Bortles in this half is 8 out of 9 for 108 yards passing. And he'll go to the air on first down. Screen to the fullback, Taufo. He's got some room to run. First down for Jacksonville. The 4th catch of the season for the third-year fullback. Pick up a 14.
Oh, he does a great job. Watch as he steps up and accepts the blitz by Williamson and then just pushes him toward the quarterback. Williamson obviously probably has coverage on Taufo, and Taufo uses it against him. Looks like he's going to pass protect and does a great job of slipping into the pattern.
Bortles has 9 completions to 7 different receivers in this first half. Bortles, another completion, this one to Allen Robinson, and we go back to New York. JB and Coach Cowher.
Coach, what's the score?
All right, listen to these stats now, Steve Berline. First 16 minutes, Joe Flacco, 5 touchdown passes. This one, 56 yards to Steve Smith. He's 10 of 13, 196 yards. They lead 35-0, and that's the first 16 minutes of the game.
Wow, Andrew Catalan.
That is unbelievable. They're playing a high school team out there.
5 touchdowns could be more than Berline's Jacksonville career.
And definitely
It's close.
more than my career lasted 2.5 quarters in Jacksonville.
Wow, that's in 16 minutes. He's on pace for 19 touchdowns.
That is unbelievable.
In a game.
Meanwhile, Blake Bortles, who came in with a 67% completion percentage, is 10 out of 11 for 129 yards as they take a measurement here.
You know what I like about what Jed Fish is doing today, and Gus Bradley, you see Jed Fish on the right there, he is really mixing it up well, trying to slow down the Tennessee Titans pass rush as we see just short, be second in about 6 inches, but the screen passes, the movement of the pocket off the play action, the bootlegs and the waggles. Right there we saw a good example of the strength of Blake Bortles' arm as well. But I like the way that Jed Fish is keeping this defense on their heels. They can't quite get a feel for what's going on.
It's 3rd down and inches. That last play just short. With 8:11 to go, second quarter. Jacksonville 2 out of 4 on 3rd downs today. Taufo, the fullback, and Storm Johnson at running back on this 3rd and short. Bortles keeps it himself, and it looks like he's got the first down. Well, what a day so far for Blake Bortles. Getting it done through the air and on the ground. He's got an 11-yard run.
Well, you see here, we've seen a couple of instances where you understand why this guy was drafted so highly. The arm strength and the ability to stand in the pocket, accept a hit, and deliver a perfect pass, and then finding and scanning the whole field to find open receivers, spreading it around and being accurate.
Bortles is sacked, and a late flag comes in. It was Carl Klug with the sack. That's his 2nd of the season, but let's see what the penalty marker is.
This might have been a blow to the head.
Penalties killed the Titans last week against Cleveland. Let's see what this one is.
There's no foul on the play for the hit to the head. 2nd down.
Well, one of the things that happens, watch his Bortles, they thought there might have been a blow to the head, and this is below the neckline, right around the shoulders. Coming into today, the Titans had 1,716 yards in offense, but they had 375 yards in penalties. 41 penalties for almost 400 yards. That's an enormous detriment to what you're trying to accomplish all over the football field. They almost suffered another one there.
Tennessee came in with only 1 sack in their last 3 games. They have 2 in the first half. Screen to Denard Robinson as the 40 and tripped up at the 41-yard line by Bleedy Ray Wilson.
I want you to watch Carl Klug again right here. He's going to be on the left side right there on the side of the screen. Watch him. He's rushing hard up the field. The screen pass goes to Denard Robinson. Watch who comes flying in right there at the end. That was number 97 coming in from behind, running about 25 yards across the field to get in on that tackle. Great effort by Carl Klug.
So it brings up 3rd and long. 3rd and 13 for the Jaguars.
Oh no!
6 straight completions for Blake Bortles. One on the play clock. Just gets it. No, he doesn't. Did not get it off.
Oh, I thought he got it off.
Delay of the game. Offense, number 5. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
What happens is the official looks at the play clock when it goes to 0, then he brings his eyes down, and that was, I'll tell you, that was probably technically late. That was very, very close. I've not seen it called that closely for a delay of game in the NFL this season. I thought that was really close.
First penalty today against the Jaguars. Now it's 3rd and 18. Bortles feeling the heat, and it's incomplete. Had thrown 6 straight completions. That one sails over the head of Jordan Todman, and Jacksonville will have to punt.
But a smart play by Blake Bortles right there. Realized, hey, the worst thing I can do here is try and make something out of nothing, which is what his natural instinct is to do and what he has done in previous games this year. Right there, a little bit of the sign of maturity, realizing, hey, let's just get rid of it. It's 3rd down and 20 yards, 18 yards. Let's just get the ball, punt it back down to Tennessee and trust our defense.
It was Sean Phillips who applied the pressure. Anger's punt goes in the end zone, and Tennessee will start at the 20. They trail 7-3.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bose, official sound of the NFL. And by Ameriprise Financial, more within reach.
Back in Nashville, Week 6 continues later today on Fox, and then tonight with Sunday Night Football on NBC, and tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN. Well, the Titans got to try to get the ground game going. As you see, Zach Mettenberger, he's the backup quarterback today on the left, and Jake Locker in the hat not playing today on the right. But how about the rush yards? They had 149 yards rushing last week. Just 9 rushing yards today for Tennessee.
Yeah, both defenses at this point have not shown a lot of respect for the quarterbacks. You know, the young quarterbacks, Blake Bortles and Charlie Whitehurst, the backup. You can see what Tennessee's done since the first half of that game last week. But both defenses are committed to stopping the run, seeing if these quarterbacks can make some plays.
Play action on 1st down. Flag is down, and the pass is incomplete. That was in the backfield, and it could be a holding call.
Holding, number 70 to the offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat 1st down.
It's on Chance Warmack, last year's first-round pick out of Alabama.
Yeah, you'll see right there. And he hooks and pulls, as you can see, Miller trying to get up the field, and it just gives him a big bear hug. And that's pretty obvious. But, you know, those guys are wired to protect, and sometimes they go way beyond the rules in order to do that.
So the penalty makes it 1st and 20. Bishop Sankey, and he's still on his feet across the 15. Great vision there by the rookie Bishop Sankey. Picks up 7.
Oh, great vision by Bishop Sankey right here. You see the play designed to go outside to the left. He realized the point of attack behind Taylor Lewan is stuffed, and he's going to try and find whatever he can find, cutting back behind it. Super job of vision, seeing and feeling where that soft spot was, making a nice gain out of nothing.
That 7-yard run is Tennessee's longest run today. Helped by a missed tackle from J.T. Thomas. 2nd and 13. Whitehurst has time. Fires to a wide open Walker for the first down. Delaney Walker hurtling over defenders into Jacksonville territory. A pickup of 37 for the Tennessee tight end.
Well, for as difficult as the season as it's turned out for the Titans, Delaney Walker's been the bright spot. We said in the open to hit him between the numbers. You see there right on the edge of the numbers as he crosses the formation, showing the athletic ability he has. And you compare him to the tight ends around the National Football League. I'm telling you, nobody's meant more to their team than Delaney Walker has meant to the Titans. This guy has been the one guy they can depend on, and today they're finding him.
Tennessee has 3 completions of more than 25 yards today, and all 3 to different receivers. The latest to Walker. Sankey on first down, and he is stopped for no gain.
And he told us, as you see there, the graphic and the guys who he's in the company of, he told us when he knew Ken Wisenhunt was going to get the job, he went over and looked at the San Diego Chargers offensive film because of Antonio Gates. He said he knew Ken Wisenhunt was a tight end guy, and certainly he recognizes the routes from the film he saw Antonio Gates run in San Diego a year ago, and Ken Wisenhunt played tight end in the NFL, so he knows. You ask those guys, well, they know, they don't go to him all the time, but they know how to use a tight end, and Delaney Walker's the beneficiary of it.
Well, Delaney Walker played for 7 years behind Vernon Davis at the San Francisco 49ers, as a backup guy, and finally got his chance to come over to Tennessee and really has established himself as one of the best pass-catching tight ends in the NFL. No matter what happens with the Titans, you always know he's going to make a couple plays every week.
2nd down and 10. Whitehurst. Great grab by Nate Washington. That was a high throw, but the 10-year vet went up to get it.
It was a little tougher than it needed to be. This ball gets away from Whitehurst as it sails on him, and great grab, fingertip by Washington. And that's one of the things, you take those receptions for granted, but that's where the accuracy of a quarterback can make a difference. If Washington picks that up, maybe he has the time to make a guy miss and get more yardage.
Sometimes the easiest looking throws are the most difficult to complete for a quarterback.
Tennessee 1 out of 4 on 3rd downs in this half. It's 3rd and 4. Whitehurst over the middle, and it's caught by Washington again for a first down. 17-yard gain.
Well, I like what I'm seeing out of Charlie Whitehurst now today. He's standing strong in the pocket. Great job. You see Taylor Lewan, the rookie left tackle, throwing someone to the ground right there. But look at that throw right over the reach of Paul Posluszny on the money to Washington. Nice pickup. But what I'm liking out of Whitehurst is he seems to be dropping back and knowing exactly what he's looking for up the field and making a good, quick decision, putting the ball in the money.
Whitehurst 9 out of 13 for 163 yards. Whitehurst looking end zone for Hunter, and it's incomplete. Dwayne Grotz stride for stride on the coverage. That takes us to the 2-minute warning here in Nashville. Tennessee and Nate Washington trying to punch it in on this drive. Jacksonville got off to a good start in that first quarter, but since then it's Tennessee that has had the momentum, trying to punch it in here with 1:56 to go, 2nd quarter. Just to reset the timeout situation, Jacksonville has 2 timeouts remaining. Tennessee has all 3. It's 2nd and 10. They fake it to Sankey. Whitehurst to Hunter, and it's 1st and goal, Tennessee. Hunter down at the 1.
Really nice throw by Charlie Whitehurst. You see him step up again in the pocket. There was pressure around him right there, but Hunter, big, tall target coming across the middle of the field. That ball was almost tipped by Chris Clemens right there, but you see Hunter go up there and get that football. Good, tough catch, and an excellent ball by Charlie Whitehurst.
Now, if you're Jacksonville, wouldn't you try to use a timeout here to get the ball back with a little bit of time?
I agree. I think you got to stop the clock
and just letting this
and save
bleed
the
down.
time. I think even with Blake Bortles being a young quarterback, having so many rookies offensively, I think it's a situation you want to throw them into. Give them a chance to be successful and gain some confidence with a 2-minute drill.
Sure you do.
And don't forget, Tennessee gets the ball to start the second half. It was the Titans that just used that timeout with 1:10 to go.
Yeah, I'd like to know what Gus Bradley was thinking as far as that was concerned. Maybe the theory was let it go ahead and run down and then stop it, save as much time, and have one timeout left for your quarterback if Tennessee does get in and score.
And I don't get why Tennessee called this timeout either. I mean, this is...
Yeah, they probably wanted to just discuss, make sure they got the right play called right now. First and goal.
It might be
they have 3 timeouts.
It might be the same red zone issues we talked about earlier in the game, where you get Charlie Whitehurst in these situations that, where you got to get it right in order to score, because it's that part of the field.
And I think you want to bleed as much time. You want to try. If Jacksonville's going to let you run the clock down, you might as well just say, let's let the clock run down,
Well, the defensive lineman, Carl Klug, has checked in here on 1st and goal for Tennessee. And they continue to make substitutions.
Stingley comes in. They take the tight end out. Yeah, there's a lot of big, heavy bodies.
Earlier this year, we saw J.J. Watt come in on offense for Houston and catch a touchdown.
One area of strength for this Jacksonville Jaguars defense, though, is their red zone defense, ranked 2nd in the NFL as far as giving up touchdowns.
Jackie Battle in at running back. He gets the call and the touchdown. First touchdown of the season for Jackie Battle, just his 2nd carry of the year. The Titans have their first lead of the day.
Well, there's no secret. Delaney Walker's the only player out there who actually carries or touches the ball on a regular basis. Everybody out there is a defensive lineman or an offensive lineman, and they got 2 fullbacks in the backfield. I mean, you'd have had to put them on a bus to make them heavier than that.
Remember, on this drive, Tennessee, after that penalty, was backed up to the 10-yard line. So they go 90 yards down the field and have their first touchdown since the 2nd quarter against Cleveland last week. Ryan Suckup now on for the extra point. Jacksonville will have 2 timeouts left here in the half.
They usually call those packages jumbo. That jumbo does not do that package justice. That's the enormous package.
9th career rushing touchdown for Jackie Battle, 7th-year fullback out of Houston.
I mean, the guy carrying the ball was 6'4", 240, and he was the smallest guy on the field.
Extra point is good. Jackie Battle finds the end zone for the Titans, and Tennessee takes a 3-point lead. Steve Berline's twin brother in attendance today. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights, as well as a preview of Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network. That's coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Here's a look at the first half possessions for Tennessee. Slow start, but they've got the momentum now, and a nice play, nice drive there by the Titans, going 8 plays, 80 yards for the Jackie Battle touchdown.
Oh, that was more than a nice drive. That was a perfect drive. There was not a bad play along the way. Charlie Whitehurst right there looked like a very confident, established NFL quarterback, and everybody around him made plays as well.
Tennessee had 4 first downs on that last drive. They had 4 the entire game prior to that drive. Todman will take a knee. So Blake Bortles will come back out. He has 2 timeouts remaining. Meanwhile, Charlie Whitehurst is 10 out of 15 for 185 yards.
Yeah, he's delivering the ball confidently on the money to his receivers. He's going to the right guys, threading the needle every once in a while, and then, of course, finishing up with the big ginormous package, as you said. Or maybe I said ginormous. You didn't say ginormous. I did.
Well, Tennessee's had 4 pass plays of 20 or more yards, so the explosive plays continue to hurt the Jacksonville defense.
Well, this Jacksonville defense documented they've been getting a lot of it. They play a lot of man-to-man coverage. They just have not been holding up on the back end.
Jacksonville's allowed the most plays of 20 or more yards in the NFL this season. Bortles in trouble, and he's sacked. And it's Jarrell Casey with his second sack of the day, his fourth of the season.
Yeah, and quickly Ken Wisenhunt calls a timeout because they got a chance now to get the football back. And this happened really, really fast as Bortles keeps his eyes down the field. And watch as all of a sudden he sees it right in his face. Casey comes out and there's nowhere to run.
Well, that was a tackle in stunt. Jarrell Casey, the defensive tackle, went outside to try and occupy the right tackle for the Jacksonville Jaguars. There was a loop underneath him, but in that transition, Jarrell Casey's the one that ended up coming free. He was trying to pick his teammate free. He came free on his own.
Well, Jarrell Casey showed up to training camp 15 pounds lighter this year because he stopped eating his favorite snack, sour gummy worms. However, after he signed his big contract before the season, he broke the seal and he had a bag of worms. And when we asked him about it yesterday, he said, I don't even want to talk about it. It hurts thinking about how I can't have my sour gummy worms anymore. Whatever he's doing, it's working, as he's now has 4 sacks on the season.
And now it looks like Tennessee is going to get the football back on a 3rd and 20 or 3rd and 19 upcoming. Ken Wisenhunt had used the one timeout to stop the clock. Now, with 55 seconds left in the second quarter, you can bet he'll use that last timeout maybe to stop the clock if Jacksonville keeps the clock running at the end of the play.
3rd and 19. Togman needs to stay in bounds. He does. Another tackle by Bleedy Ray Wilson, who's had a big first half. And now Tennessee uses its final timeout with 49 seconds remaining.
Yeah, you can see that coming. They're going to run the football right here just to make Tennessee use that final timeout. On a 3rd and 20, they're not really expecting to get a first down on a wide run. That was all about Ken Wisenhunt being forced to use that last timeout.
And with a young quarterback in Blake Bortles who's shown a little bit of a propensity to make the mistake backed up in his own end. They didn't want to give him the opportunity to do that. Now Tennessee, as you said, they're going to get the ball probably somewhere around midfield. Maybe not quite, but with a little bit of time on the clock, they can get into field goal range very easily.
Well, they got Dexter McCluster too. I mean, he's not just another guy. He's he's dangerous. And Jacksonville's not only got to get this punt off, they got to cover it.
4th punt of this half for Anger. And this is a high wobbly kick. Good hang time for Anger to the 35, and McCluster goes out of bounds right near the 40-yard line. Well, coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, don't forget, join JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cower. They'll have all the latest scores and highlights. They'll also have a preview of Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network. That's coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. A punt of 52 for Brian Anger. So now you look, Tennessee has it 1st and 10 from their own 40. Ryan Succop's career long is 54 yards. So they need about 25 yards to give Succop a chance here. Again, Tennessee does not have any timeouts remaining.
And in this situation, it doesn't matter if it's a 65-yarder. They may give it a shot.
Kendall Wright goes in motion. Whitehurst out of the gun. Whitehurst is chased by Davis, and Whitehurst just throws it away. Great pressure from Ryan Davis, the second-year player.
Now, this is a smart play by Charlie Whitehurst. He does buy time, as you watch here. Looks like he's going to get caught right there, but pushes it, and finally gets rid of it just in the nick of time. He's trying to extend the play, but there's no question Jacksonville is playing ultra safe. They've got a lot of coverage in the back end. They're going to force the Titans to throw it short and go the long way and use the clock to their advantage on the defensive side.
Davis nearly had his 3rd sack of the season. It's 2nd and 10. Pressure coming, and Chris Clemens with a sack. 3rd sack this year for the 11-year vet, Chris Clemens.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was impressive. You're going to see top of your screen, that's on the rookie, Taylor Lewan. We talked about it. That's asking an awful lot out of Taylor Lewan to take Chris Clemens one-on-one. Chris Clemens is licking his chops for that matchup all day.
Well, Andy Levici, the left guard, came over just too late on that spin move to help out.
2 seconds.
Turned into a one-on-one.
And that'll do it. Tennessee lined up as if they were going to call one more play, but they'll just go into the locker room with a 10-7 lead. That's the end of the first half. We'll be back with the Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Moments away from the start of the second half, Tennessee has a 10-7 lead on Jacksonville. Back in the booth with the Steves, Berline and Tasker. I'm Andrew Catalon. Great start for Jacksonville today. Marched right down the field. First time this year they've scored a touchdown on their opening drive. But since then, Steve Berline, Tennessee seems to have taken a little bit of the momentum away.
Definitely they have, but I think it was a very clean first half of football. Both defenses really focused on shutting down the run game, putting the pressure on the quarterbacks to step up and make plays. I think both quarterbacks have played very well so far, so it's going to be an exciting second half. We'll see who can make the most plays.
Both quarterbacks really impressive. Blake Bortles with a high completion percentage, and Charlie Whitehurst is closing in on a career high in yardage already.
Yeah, he's been throwing the football very well, but it started with Blake Bortles, and Beeline, you said it, they got some easy completions early on. He was throwing it to a lot of different receivers. Then Charlie Whitehurst got on track, particularly in that 2-minute drill, and they started having success throwing it just at the edges of the numbers, as we talked about in the opening, where the vulnerability of the Jacksonville defense was between the numbers, and Tennessee started to exploit that.
Blake Bortles 11 out of 14, and Charlie Whitehurst had 185 yards passing in that first half. His career high was set last week when he had 194 yards, so he's closing in on a new career high, and Tennessee will get the ball to start the second half. Leon Washington is back deep, and in that first half, Leon Washington went over 7,000 yards for his career in kick returns. He's the second active player to go over 7,000 for a career, along with Darren Sproles. He will not get a chance to return this one. It's a touchback. Tennessee starts at the 20, and let's take a look at our second half adjustments, guys.
Well, I think for Jacksonville, they're getting challenged on the outside to make plays. By the way that Tennessee's playing their run defense, they're saying, you got to make some plays with your wide receivers to the outside. I expect Jed Fish, Blake Bortles to attack that way this half.
And as you can see below that, they got to stay committed to the run. They're not being very productive in that. Bishop Sankey has not had much success, but as long as they're in this game, and particularly when they have the lead, they've got to keep handing it off in order to make Jacksonville stay honest defensively. They got to help Charlie Whitehurst out with the running game. He will not be able to win this game if they throw it every down.
Neither team getting it done on the ground. They've combined for 45 yards rushing, and Whitehurst will start this half in the air, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Hunter, but Alan Ball was right there for Jacksonville.
Alan Ball was there defensively, and also Paul Puslesny was running out underneath that route, so when Whitehurst started to let it go, he had to put some arc on it as it was high and away because Puslesny forced the throw to be out there. So you couple that with Alan Ball and Puslesny over and undering it. That was a tough throw to squeeze in.
We're good. Sit!
Titans go 4 wide on second and 10. Delaney Walker lined up in the slot, and they hand it off inside to Sankey. He gets to the 25-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down and 5. Geno Hayes makes the tackle for Jacksonville.
Well, I like the call right there by Ken Wisenhunt. Right, you're looking at 2nd and 10. You know that's a pass kind of mentality for the defense. They're probably going to be rushing the passer, dropping the linebackers a little bit. You run that spread formation, draw play up the middle, pick up a nice 5-yard gain. Now you're in a very manageable 3rd down situation.
Brown.
Leon Washington is the running back on 3rd and 5. And Sean Green not playing today because of an injury. Whitehurst has time. A flag is down. Pass is incomplete. The flag is down at the 27-yard line.
Yeah, it was Chris Clemens jumped offside on the hard count. Charlie Whitehurst tried to draw him offside, and the veteran bid on it that time.
Offside. Defense, number 91. Jumped in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
That's a veteran maneuver by Charlie Whitehurst right there, though. A lot of times the rookie quarterbacks don't know how to play situational football, use your snap count, change it up, and then at the right time when you need to try and get either a free shot or a free 5 yards, you throw that hard count out there, get them to jump off sides.
Whitehurst was teammates with Chris Clemens in Seattle. They were there with Red Bryant, and also Gus Bradley was the defensive coordinator when Whitehurst was with the Seahawks. Sankey on first down, and not much doing there.
You know, as we get into this first series after halftime, it's always interesting on both sides of the football. You get an idea of what the coaches and the staffs think, and we give our ideas for how they should adjust, but also you get a chance to see it play out on the field. In this case, Charlie Whitehurst has handed it off a couple of times, particularly on first down, and then they've tried to go down the field on a couple of throws, haven't been successful throwing it, and they've only gotten 5 yards on the one handoff on a draw play.
McCluster over the middle, and he's got a first down. Seeing a little bit more of Dexter McCluster today. He gets 10 for Tennessee.
They flexed Dexter McCluster out into the slot, did a good job, ran all the receivers up the field, across the middle of the field, knowing that Jacksonville would have to drop back to take them away, and then you just sneak Dexter McCluster underneath. Good job by Charlie Whitehurst going through his progression, coming down to his playmaker, letting him get the first down.
Tennessee continues to go to the air much more so than the rush. Their ground game has been grounded. Sean Green not playing with a hamstring injury. Meanwhile, McCluster has 3 catches coming into the game. He had 5 catches in the first 5 weeks of the season. And now we have a whistle and a timeout called for by Tennessee. It's a Tennessee timeout here early in the third quarter.
We thought perhaps the Tennessee Titans called this timeout because Taylor Lewan, who was working against Red Bryant, buckled his knee right there. He got kicked and flexed his knee to the inside, and watches 6'7", 309, does a back somersault to get up to his feet.
And Lewan is still out there on this 1st and 10, and Whitehurst just throws it to the ground. Taylor Lewan is a tough guy. We spoke to Denard Robinson yesterday, and they were teammates in Michigan, and Denard just started shaking his head and said, that guy's a beast.
Yeah, he's a short-tempered guy too. Got a penalty last week as he came in a reserve role there. Denard Robinson, his former quarterback. That's a left tackle and the former quarterback there at Michigan. There's those two guys now on opposing sidelines, but Lewan is known for having a short fuse, and he is a talker.
2nd and 10, the screen to Sankey. Reverses field across the 45 and tackled at the 46-yard line for a gain of 7. Will Blackman makes the tackle. It's 3rd down.
All right, 3 Jacksonville Jaguars are strewn about the field on the far side. Sankey left a wake of destruction on that little screen pass. Watch as 3 guys end up hitting each other. Look at all 3 of them end up laying there.
That's ball coming over the top right there.
And it's Alan Ball who's still down on the ground.
So many times you see it, the defenders end up banging into each other, and it's your own guys that make you stay on the ground with an injury.
Back to Nashville after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine. Toyota Care. Scheduled maintenance, no cost. And by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss.
Next Sunday, the NFL serves up a single header. In one matchup, the Bengals battle the Colts, and the Dolphins and Bears square off, or the Chiefs challenge the Chargers. Check your local listings, and of course, it all begins with JB, Tony, Bart, Coach, and Boomer on the NFL Today. Alan Ball able to walk off. And now he's trying to stretch it out on the Jacksonville sideline. Dwayne Gratz, who lost his starting spot at corner this week to Demetrius McCray, comes in to replace the injured Ball. And now Geno Hayes is heading off. So we got to keep an eye on that on the Jacksonville sideline. Meanwhile, 3rd down and 3 for Tennessee. Whitehurst out of the shotgun. And the pass is deflected, and a late flag comes in from the secondary.
Jacksonville claiming the ball was tipped, so there shouldn't be any penalty up the field.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, 24 of the defense. 5-yard penalty and automatic first down.
They said the ball.
So crucial call comes against the Jaguars, which gives Tennessee a first down.
Well, let's see if we can figure out where Will Blackman was. Right here, he's holding. There's a little bit of illegal contact as he's chasing up the field. We know the focus on that this year. The numbers are astounding how many penalties they're calling on a weekly basis.
Well, here it is. Through 5 weeks last year compared to this year, the illegal contact penalties almost 4 times as many compared to 2013 as Bishop Sankey finds a hole. Bishop Sankey all the way up to the 26-yard line before Jonathan Cyprian brings him down, a gain of 22.
Well, that is why Bishop Sankey was a second-round draft choice, despite the fact that he's only about 5'6". But he squeezes through those holes. His acceleration, his shiftiness, his ability to make up big chunks of yards in a short period of time is pretty impressive. Nice play by Bishop Sankey.
Longest run of his career. It goes for 22 yards. It's 1st and 10. They go back to Sankey. Again, you're seeing the patience of Bishop Sankey, the vision out there.
Yeah, we talked to Ken Wisenhunt last week. He told us, you know, they took some criticism for drafting Sankey as high as they did. And he said about a month into the season, we're getting criticized for not playing him enough.
Meanwhile, an injury update for Jacksonville. Geno Hayes, the linebacker, is being evaluated for a concussion. 2nd and 2. Sankey spins away, and he's almost at the 10-yard line. It's a first down for Tennessee.
Well, what they're doing, they're overloading the right side of the offensive set. Trip receivers are getting the defense to shift over there, and that's opening up some cutback lanes. Just not that many people backside. Great move.
Oh, you saw the jump cut that Sankey did. That, I mean, you got a back that can do that. What it does is it allows him to move sideways very fast and cover a lot of ground before the defender can plant his foot. What a great move by Sankey.
He comes out on 1st and 10. McCluster checks in. He catches this pass out of the backfield. Hit hard at the 7 by Telvin Smith, and it brings up 2nd down. Meanwhile, Charlie Whitehurst has now thrown for over 200 yards on the day, 206 to be exact. That's a career high for Charlie Whitehurst, first 200-yard game of his career.
Well, we talked to Charlie, and he's got a lot of self-awareness. He knows he's a 9-year veteran, been at backup, but he also knows that the finish to his career is yet to be written. And this is a guy that really wants to play well, for not only for his teammates and the organization, but for himself. He's disappointed about, that he didn't become the quarterback that he thought he would 9 years ago, but he's still very proud of the player he is.
2nd down and 5. Play action. Whitehurst has all day. Fires, and it's incomplete. He was looking for the tight end, Chase Kaufman.
Well, that was great coverage by the Jacksonville Jaguars secondary right there. Charlie Whitehurst had all kinds of time. Maybe, if anything, should have moved out of the pocket, try and buy some time to free up one of those receivers, because nobody was open in the end zone. He did the next best thing, throwing the ball away.
That throw was reminiscent of David Whitehurst throwing to Paul Kaufman back in the 70s and 80s. Those two guys' fathers connected as Green Bay Packers back in the day.
Yeah, pretty neat story. Both their moms were in attendance last week to watch that here in Nashville. 3rd and 5. Whitehurst, McCluster, and a great tackle by Telvin Smith. The rookie out of Florida State, a 5th-round pick. He's known for his speed, and he showed it off right there.
And he is a flyer. I mean, he's an impact guy with his speed right there. They tried to create a little bit of leverage for Dexter McCluster to get to the edge, but Telvin Smith did a great job closing the gap.
That was a close one. Whitehurst knew it, too. He thought he had a touchdown for a moment.
And guys, 4th and 2, it appears that Tennessee is going to go for it. They keep the offense on the field.
Yeah, the crowd groaned because they saw the big guys coming in. They thought it was going to be a field goal. They didn't realize the ginormous package was coming in.
They got to go quickly. Only 2 on the play clock, and Charlie Whitehurst calls timeout. That's the 2nd timeout that Tennessee has used in this 3rd quarter. 8:57 remain.
This is the situation. They're coming out with a heavy run formation. It's 4th and a long 2. to me, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm thinking pass. And we look out for Taylor Lewan. He's a great athlete. There might be something to maybe see if he can get out in a pass route.
Now we got to look out for Ryan Suckup as Ken Wisenon has changed his mind.
Yeah, and I think
that's the right call.
Yeah,
I do
and
too.
you know what? The thing about it too is it shouldn't have cost him a timeout to get to that point.
That's a great point.
That's a mistake.
It is a mistake, and one that a lot of times those come back to hurt you, as you know. But right there, the correct decision is to take the field goal. Your defense is playing real well against a very young Jacksonville Jaguars offense.
It's a 21-yard attempt for Ryan Suckup. He's 1 for 1 today and 7 out of 9 on the season. And the kick is good. Second drive today that's gone longer than 6 minutes for the Titans, but they both end with 3. And Ken Wisenon knew they had to hurry. Didn't get it done. Cost him a timeout.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine. Toyota Care. Scheduled maintenance, no cost. And by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss.
Start your week off with a bang, a big bang. Catch Emmy winner Jim Parsons and the rest of the gang on TV's #1 comedy. It's a new Big Bang Theory tomorrow at 8/7 Central, only CBS. Titans fans have a 13-7 lead on the Jaguars with 8:52 to go third quarter, but again, Tennessee has already used 2 timeouts in this second half, something to keep an eye on as we move on. Jacksonville 0-5, looking for its first win of the year, and Tennessee at just 1-4, trying to bounce back after that brutal loss last week at home against the Cleveland Browns. A 4-game losing streak for the Titans after they won their season opener in Kansas City. Todman wants to take this one out. Todman at the 15. And a flag comes in. It's down at the 32-yard line. Came from behind the play. A 23-yard return by Todman. Jeff Triplett huddled up with his crew.
During the return, holding number 56 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's on Leroy Reynolds. Well, take a look at this. Blake Bortles passes that have traveled 11 yards or more in the air. He's only done it once. That was way back in the first drive when he hooked up with Clay Harbor.
That was his first throw with Clay Harbor. Since then, it's been all short passes, screens, slants. That's what we talked about at the halftime adjustments. You got to get these wide receivers involved in the passing game.
They'll start this drive on the 10-yard line. Denard Robinson, and he's tackled from behind by Casey. Let's go back to New York. JB and Coach Cowher.
Miami evens it up. Yes, Ryan Tannehill to Jarvis Landry, 11-yard touchdown pass, highlighted 5-yard, 80-yard drive, highlighted by a 40-yard run by Ryan Tannehill, all tied up in Miami, 10-10.
Early in the third, back to Andrew, Steve, and Steve.
The Dolphins guys have a very impressive all-time record against Green Bay, 10-3. Meanwhile, Jacksonville does not have a first down in 14 minutes.
The young quarterback audibleizing here.
Bortles on 2nd and 8, and that pass is incomplete. He was looking for Cecil Shorts.
Yeah, this is a dangerous throw. He's trying to fit it in. Shorts at the top of your screen. He's going to go up. It's a back shoulder throw. You see this comes up. Shorts tries to swim inside. McCourty has none of it. That's a courageous throw.
You know what I liked about that one, Steve, is that he identified the coverage, said, hey, they're playing run inside. We got one-on-one matchups. I have to try and let these guys make some plays on the outside. That's recognizing the situation, understanding how you're going to move the football.
Sunday!
Big play here on 3rd down. 3rd and 8 for Jacksonville. Bortles steps up. He's going to keep it himself. Slides forward, and he's got the first down. Blake Bortles is able to keep plays alive with his legs, and now he keeps the drive alive with his legs.
Yeah, and even when he punched through this right here, he's still looking to throw and doesn't until he just gets past the line of scrimmage. Does he actually tuck it in?
A 9-yard run for Blake Bortles and a Jacksonville first down, their first since the 7.5-minute mark of the second quarter. Bortles swings it to Shorts, catches the ball with some momentum, and he's tackled by Jason McCourty. Well, Bortles started 11 out of 12. He had misfired on his previous 3 until that hookup with Shorts.
We spoke a lot about the run game. That play and plays like that quick throw to the outside, that's an extension of the run game. That's really basically a long handoff to Cecil Shorts with a little bit of space, and it gives you a 2nd and 3.
And with the way Tennessee's playing, you're going to have one-on-one on the outside. These guys, Cecil Shorts is a hard guy to bring down in the open field.
Green 80. Green shot.
Play action. Bortles fires, incomplete. He threw it behind Cecil Shorts, and it'll be 3rd down and 2.
Well, the pressure's what kind of threw the timing off in this route. Look at a great job by Bortles, setting back strong in the pocket, realizing I got to get up in the pocket. We've got to try and make a play in the passing game from the pocket, but good miss on the inside right there. If he leaves Cecil Shorts outside, he's in best case scenario leading him into a headache.
All right, Steve Tasker. Steve Tasker, run or pass here on 3rd and 2.
Oh, I think this might be a play action pass.
Green 80.
Marquise Lee goes in motion. It is a play action pass. Back to Lee for the first down. Well executed by the Jacksonville offense, and they keep on moving the chains.
This is a really cool play. I've never seen this done before. You're going to see Marquise Lee right here coming in motion into the backfield. Then he spins back around after the play action, and no one is covering him out there on the outside. That was a brilliant call by Jed Fish, knowing you're going to get man-to-man, get the defender running across the formation, then swing it back.
Lee had missed the last 3 games with a hamstring injury. That was his first catch today. Talfoa has his 2nd catch of the day, and he takes it across the 45-yard line.
Yeah, they're doing everything they can to get the defense running side to side. Watch as they let the pass rush come in. Blake Bortles fakes it to the right side, dumps it back to the left side to Fo'o, and gets the good gain. This is Jed Fish knows the Tennessee Titans are pursuing really hard. He's taking advantage of it.
Denard Robinson on 2nd down across midfield, and he's got the first down.
And that's the benefit of it right there. I mean, they've misdirected, then they hand it off on a straight sweep to the outside, and Robinson gets the first down.
This is a good physical run by the former quarterback. Now, we talked about it. He told us in our meeting that he was becoming more of an instinctive runner now. Feels like a running back. Put on 15 pounds right there running behind the right side of that line. Austin Pastor and Brandon Linder. Good solid run by the former Michigan quarterback.
And Denard up to 2:15 as Blake Bortles has to burn a timeout with 5:13 to go 3rd quarter. First time out of the half by the Jaguars. They're on the move here, trailing by 6.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by T-Mobile. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Following the Jacksonville timeout, it's 1st and 10 with 5:13 to go in the 3rd quarter. Tennessee leads 13-7. Play action for Bortles. Steps up, has Todman streaking down the field. He's got it at the 15, and it's incomplete. Juggled it on the way down, could not maintain possession.
Watch this right here. Watch the strength. This is what reminds me of Ben Roethlisberger right here. The good hard play. That's Batua Toa coming clean. He rips right through that arm tackle and still is able to deliver that strike down the field. Tobin's got to catch his ball. That was a great job by Wembley to try to get in there and break it up, but that ball should have been caught.
It hit him right in the stomach.
10th play of the drive, a drive that started back at Jacksonville's own 10-yard line. 2nd and 10. To the air again. Clay Harbor has the catch, and he has a first down for Jacksonville.
Yeah, we've been talking about Blake Bortles often because he is this young quarterback, and I got to tell you, and I told you this, Steve Berline, he looks better at playing quarterback earlier in his career than anybody I can remember.
I agree. I agree with that. I mean, he looks like he knows what he's doing with the football. He looks confident. He does not look gun-shy at all. And he makes some nice throws. We still got to get the receivers more involved in the game plan.
That was the 4th first down of this drive. Bortles wants to go to the air again, throws on the run. Shorts comes back to make the catch, and it's another Jacksonville first down, a gain of 11.
Well, again, we pointed out early, too, that this is the first time that Blake Bortles has had his full wide receiver core healthy and on the field for him. You know, you got Marquise Lee and Cecil Shorts back today. You see right there what a great athlete Cecil Shorts. That's a heck of a catch on the outside. But we're also seeing Blake Bortles get a lot more confidence from his coaching staff.
Bortles, and that one sailed on him a bit. He was looking for Harbor again.
Clay Harbor lost that ball for a minute. I don't know whether it came out of the sun or the trajectory was like it's coming right down the line of his shadow, and it looked like he lost that ball for a half a second in the air.
When we met with Blake Bortles yesterday, he said that things are really slowing down for me. This is his 3rd start, came on in the second half of week 3 against the Colts. And on this drive especially, he's been on a mission leading Jacksonville down the field. Inside 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Pressure coming. He dumps it off to Storm Johnson, and Johnson's able to stay on his feet and get out of bounds. Wesley Woodyard on the tackle for Tennessee, and 3:47 to go.
Well, Wesley Woodyard right there did a great job identifying the screen pass on that one. He was right there as the ball got there, forced the running back to turn outside and got knocked out of bounds. Super play by the veteran linebacker.
Yeah, that was a loss of 3 yards on that completion. And that's one of the rare times if you complete another pass like that, you're going to be out of field goal range.
And this is where Bortles has to be careful, though. He's throwing to 8 different receivers. Every bit you can get here, you don't want to try to get it all if it's not there. Just try to make it an easier kick if they play coverage up the field.
3rd and 14. Bortles, and it's picked off! Picked off by Bleedy Ray Wilson. He slips, gets back up, and he's tackled at midfield. 7th interception this season from Blake Bortles. And the first pick of Bleedy Ray Wilson's career. A big, costly turnover by Jacksonville, and they waste that impressive drive.
Well, here you see Allen Hurns at the bottom of the screen, and this interception is not on Blake Bortles. You're going to see right as the ball comes out of his hand, Allen Hurns is still standing right now. As he lets go of the ball, Hurns slips. That makes it an easy interception for Bleedy Ray Wilson. Just terrible luck for the young quarterback. You know, but what you do know is that Bleedy Ray Wilson, as you see the exasperation in Blake Bortles and Jed Fish, you do know Bleedy Ray Wilson is a very aggressive corner. You got to try and get over the top on him next time.
So great field position for the Titans. From midfield, they start this drive, and McCluster gets 3 yards. How about Bleedy Ray Wilson, guys? He missed last week because of a concussion, but in his return today, 7 tackles, 2 passes defensed, and the interception, the first of his career. It's a guy that had a tough start to the season. He was called for 5 pass interference calls, 6 penalties in his last 2 games. And he's had a real nice little coming out party today for Tennessee. Return that interception 34 yards to give Charlie Whitehurst and the offense a great look at adding on to their lead with 2:25 to go, 3rd quarter. Whitehurst, and going to the ground to make that catch is McCluster. Demetrius McCray put a hand on him. Meanwhile, Geno Hayes, guys, back on the field for Jacksonville. He's been cleared. He passed the concussion protocol.
And that's impressive because it's not easy if they're questioning whether or not you can come back in the game. The protocol now is so much more critical and so much more intense to pass. That means we can confidently say he's okay to play.
Loaded 5-1.
3rd down and 2 for Tennessee. They're 2 for 6 on 3rd downs today. Flag is down. Whitehurst pass is caught by Hunter. And he's brought down at the 25-yard line. The flag is back at the line of scrimmage. An 18-yard gain if it stands. And Tennessee is thinking that it's going against
Offside.
Jacksonville.
Defense, number 91, lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
This is a heck of a shot from Charlie Whitehurst. This to me was the best throw of the day from him. He rips his ball. His feet weren't even perfect. His feet weren't set perfectly, but he ripped that ball on the money to a Justin Hunter speeding across the middle of the field. Not an easy throw.
Sankey on 1st and 10, trying to get to the outside, and Jonathan Cyprien continues to have a big game, comes up to make that tackle.
He came from deep in the secondary. That's why, you know, safeties are so important to NFL defenses these days. It's such a throwing league, but everybody still uses the same old mantra, run and stop the run. Well, your safety's got to be deep and cover passes, but on plays like that, he got from the secondary into the backfield very fast and forced a no gain. What a great play by a young safety.
Tennessee running its 26th play today in Jacksonville territory. Whitehurst is hit as he throws, and they're going to say that's a fumble. Ball is free, and it appears that Delaney Walker fell on it for Tennessee. Will Blackman is the one who pressured Whitehurst.
Well, the whole stadium, and I think all three of us in the booth, we just thought this was another incomplete pass. Well, then Jeff Kerr, he throws the beanbag, and that's a signal that it's a fumble and not an incomplete pass. And that's when Delaney Walker jumped on it. You see there, I think that's a pass.
An incomplete pass.
That's an incomplete pass.
And that, well, Ken Wisdom-Hunt did not even look like he's reaching for his flag to challenge that one. That arm, all the arm has to be is slightly coming forward.
Well, he's not going to challenge it because he gained a yard.
He gained a yard, and that's the end of the third quarter. It'll give Gus Bradley a chance to challenge if he wants, but you wouldn't think he would. It'll be 3rd and 9 when we come back to start the fourth quarter. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Quarter in Nashville, Tennessee has a 13-7 lead alongside the Steves, Berline and Tasker. I'm Andrew Catalan. We thank you for joining us for Week 6 of the NFL on CBS, and a big play to start this fourth quarter with Tennessee facing 3rd down. 3rd and 9 for Charlie Whitehurst and the Titans. Pressure coming from Clemens. Whitehurst hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. It was Puz Lusney who came on the blitz and hit Charlie Whitehurst.
Super job by Paz Leslie and that defensive front. We talked about it in the open. They really invested a lot of money in these defensive pass rushers, Chris Clemens and Red Bryant, and you throw in a blitz in there at the right time. Paz Leslie shoots the gap, makes a hit at the perfect time for the Jaguars defense.
And Jacksonville doesn't blitz very often at all, and that caught Charlie Whitehurst off guard. They pulled it at just the right moment.
So it'll be a 42-yard field goal attempt for Ryan Suckup. He's 2 out of 2 today, and this would make it a 2-possession game. Suckup's kick is good. So a field goal for the Titans, and they now lead it 16-7 on Gus Bradley and the Jaguars. After falling behind 7-0, Tennessee has scored 16 straight points, and they lead the Jaguars with 14:49 to go in the fourth quarter. Jordan Todman back deep, awaiting the kickoff from Ryan Suckup, who has scored all 6 points in this second half. Suckup 3 for 3 on the field goals today. And he blasts this one right through the end zone. Thursday, football starts here when Rex Ryan's Jets take on Tom Brady and the rival Patriots. It's another big-time matchup in primetime on CBS and NFL Network. Tom Brady has only lost 6 times in his career against the Jets, and right now New England is leading Buffalo in the second half. The Jets trail the Broncos in the second half. They will meet in New England coming up on Thursday. 1st and 10 for Jacksonville. They swing it to Ace Sanders, who could not hold on to that. It's an incomplete pass.
Well, one of the things that we talked about in the open, Andrew, was that the Jacksonville Jaguars defense or special teams had to create field position to make it a little bit easier on Blake Bortles. Do you know how many times they've started outside their own 20-yard line? 0 times today. They've had the ball with at least 80 yards to go every single possession today. That's hard to do, especially for a young quarterback.
He scored 7 points on the opening drive. Since then, 4 punts and an interception for Jacksonville. On second down, they give it to Allen Robinson, and he's forced out by Marquestin Huff, the rookie out of Wyoming.
Once again, Blake Bortles continues to fire the football to the outside edges. I think one of the things they're going to do, and we've seen them try it once or twice, and although they maybe shy away from it, is they know they're getting man-to-man coverage out there. Give those guys a chance to win. Those receivers, we spoke about it from the very beginning of the broadcast. Blake Bortles needs somebody to win in one-on-one coverage. As of yet, they have not won enough.
Third down and 4. Bortles to Robinson, who makes the catch for a first down. That pass was right on the money. Robinson turned and the ball was waiting for him.
And there was not a lot of room to get that ball in there. I still believe they've got to go up over the top of Bleedy Ray Wilson. He's the one making the tackle. He has not respected the Jaguars up the field yet today. They've got to try to go over the top of him.
Cecil Shorts makes this catch, and he's upended by Jason McCourty.
Now you see they're just throwing it back and forth from sideline to sideline, but every time they do, it's a 5-6 yard gain, and that's exactly what Bortles wants, is what Jedd Fisch wants. 17 of 21 for 120 yards, under 9 yards or less, but only 2 of 7 when they go down the field. That's got to change.
It's another screen pass. Denard Robinson is just crushed by Jarrell Casey. It was not a good pass. Robinson had to wait to make the catch, and Casey stuffed him.
Well, this is a class of case, I believe, of going to the well once too often right there. You've thrown a bunch of screen passes today. This Tennessee Titans defense, I think, has figured out that that's a big part of your game plan. They're sniffing them out now. I hate to beat a dead horse, but you got to make a play up the field. They're starting to challenge everything up tight close to the line of scrimmage.
Big play, 3rd and 9 for Jacksonville. Bortles has time, now in trouble, and Bortles is sacked. It's Marquestin Huff, the rookie, with his first sack of the season.
Well, that's a coverage sack. You don't have a lot of people open up the field, but Blake Bortles, at some point, your clock has to go off. He's got to feel that pressure coming from behind him. He's a great athlete. I'd like to see him move to his right a little bit, try and free up one of those receivers or look for a lane to run the ball.
You're right. It was a 4-man rush. It was a coverage sack, and sooner or later, you said it, they've got to do something other than look underneath. They've got to force the defense to cover the whole field.
Good kick by Anger on 4th down. McCluster from the 20. And he's tackled at the 31, but a late flag comes in. And it's down at the 26-yard line. It was a 56-yard punt from Anger. Meanwhile, Tennessee's defense now has 4 sacks today. They only had 1 sack in the last 3 games coming in.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team, number 50. 10-yard penalty, first down, timeout.
That's on Xavier Gooden. That'll back up the Titans, but their defense comes up big again, trying to protect that 9-point lead against the Jaguars.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Outback Steakhouse. Outback, no rules, just right. And by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Tennessee's defense does a great job to give the offense the ball back as we have a 16-7 game here in Nashville. Tennessee trying to stop a 4-game losing streak. Jacksonville 0-5 to start the year. The first time since the 96-97 Falcons that a team has started 0-5 in back-to-back seasons. So Charlie Whitehurst, who's had a career day with 231 yards passing, brings the Titans offense back out onto the field, and following the penalty, they'll start this drive at the 16-yard line. Bishop Sankey, the running back, on first down. And they give it to Sankey. And he gets to the 20-yard line. Ball came out at the end. Jacksonville saying they have it, but Jeff Triplett saying he was down. Sankey was down. We'll take another look, but it is Tennessee football.
Well, as he comes in and just accepts the hit, hard to see there where the ball is, and there it comes out late. And by that replay, there's no question he was already down. But we'll see this.
Gus Bradley is throwing the challenge flag.
And that looks like the ground causes it from that angle there, this angle that we're seeing from the front side.
Yeah, that'd be pretty hard to overturn that one, I think.
Bradley lost a challenge in the first half. He's 1 out of 2 on the year in challenges.
That was a big hit.
Jacksonville is challenging the ruling on the field as the runner is down by contact.
So they'll take a look, and we'll come back with a verdict right after this.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The runner was down by contact. Jacksonville is charged its second timeout and its second challenge. It is out of challenges for the remainder of the game.
Just a brutal challenge by Gus Bradley. He's now 0 for 2 today. And keep in mind, week 3 against the Colts, he threw the challenge flag inside 2 minutes, which you're not allowed to do, and that cost him a timeout. So it's not been Gus Bradley's season with the red flag in his hand.
Tell us how you really feel.
Well, I mean, spade is spade. Now they lose a timeout, and they can't challenge the rest of the game.
Right. And it cost them in the first half, too, when they could have used a timeout in the 2-minute drill.
Both bad challenges, no doubt about it.
So it's 2nd down and 6 with 11:19 to go in the 4th quarter. Bishop Sankey, and he's wrapped up by Puzluzny. Sankey a little slow to get up, the rookie. He's got a career high today, 15 carries, starting for the injured Sean Green. So a chance for this Jacksonville defense to force Tennessee to punt. It's 3rd down and 4. The Titans are 3 for 8 on 3rd downs today.
Well, they have to do it right here, Andrew. This is a huge stop for the Jags defense.
Whitehurst, and it's incomplete. May have been deflected at the line. Now a flag comes in the secondary, though.
Oh, no.
Is this going to be illegal contact? No.
This is going to be on the Titans.
Well, another one of those categories that's up this year is offensive pass interference.
Offense, number 13. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a 4th down.
So the call goes against Kendall Wright. A good job by that Jacksonville defense to force Tennessee to punt.
Well, Delaney Walker almost came up with this reception after the ball was tipped, which is amazing. The outside guy is going to, right here, he's going to come back underneath and almost got that tipped.
The ball was tipped off the line of scrimmage. That's what threw. I think he would have caught that ball had it not been tipped.
Ace Sanders back deep to receive the punt from Brett Kern. A good punt from Kern, driving Sanders back all the way to the 10. A flag is down. This one's coming back. What a great punt of 69 yards by Brett Kern. His career long is 71, but that's a season long for the punter Kern.
Well, the Titans special teams have not had a banner year, but today they have been a difference maker. The field position they've gotten and their ability to flip the field and make Blake Bortles go
during the
long way has been
return.
great.
Illegal block in the back. Number 26 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
I mean, right here, hand on the back, right there, pushes him past, and he can't. It doesn't matter. He got Evans.
And guys,
hand in the back.
Let's go back to the open of our show when Steve Berline said one of the keys was the Jacksonville special teams needed to give Blake Bortles good field position to start drives. Every single drive by Jacksonville has started at the 20 or worse, and they're pinned deep here. Bortles trying to dig them out, and that pass is incomplete. But Steve, you nailed that right in the beginning of the game, saying the special teams had to deliver, and they haven't today.
All right, I reminded everybody that the last drive, too, when they started at the 20, that, you know, that with Blake Bortles, it's so huge for a young quarterback. Any quarterback is going to benefit from better field position. Obviously, the statistics are hugely swayed by field position. So this is an almost impossible situation unless the guy special can make a play right now.
2nd and 10. Storm Johnson. And he's He's got the 10-yard line to give Jacksonville a little bit of room. A late flag comes in. Cameron Wimbley made the tackle. And let's see what the call is.
Personal foul. Clipping. Number 76 of the offense. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat, second down.
That goes against Luke Jokel, last year's #1 pick for Jacksonville.
He's going to, you can see right here, that's Jokel on Williamson. That's dangerous. That's going to get called every time.
Yeah.
Throwing at the legs outside of the tackle box. It's not even a question.
That was an easy call for the official. Now somebody's got to stay down. There's a player in distress in the secondary on right at the 20. One of the Titans players.
And that's Williamson, who was hit by Jokel on that last play. The rookie out of Kentucky. Let's take another look as Jokel laid up right on the leg of Williamson, and
that's his left leg.
Dangerous.
And the trainer's actually looking at his right leg. His right leg might have got caught under Jokel as he tried to pull it free.
Jokel's body falls on his right ankle after. No doubt about it. See if we can get a better angle at it.
See, there's the one, and then as he falls, he's
right there. Yeah, he collapses over that right ankle.
Well, good news, he's on his feet, and he's slowly walking off the field. A native of Milan, Tennessee, that's about 130 miles west of Nashville. He grew up a Titans fan, and now the 5th-round pick has started the last 2 games, made an immediate impact for this Tennessee defense. So he comes off. It's 2nd and 11 for Jacksonville. 5th penalty this half against the Jaguars.
I'd like to see right there a shot up the field over the top of Bleedy Ray Wilson.
Bortles incomplete. He was looking for Allen Hurns, and that brings up 3rd down and long.
It's just tough, especially with the defense has been challenging receivers all day. They're going to play it extra tight when you got the quarterback, a young quarterback, backed up in his own end zone. I think the best case scenario for Jacksonville, if you go deep, is a touchdown, obviously. Worst case is an incompletion. You may get a pass interference. All kinds of good things can happen if you just take a shot off the field here.
3 wide receivers for Jacksonville on 3rd and 11. Bortles to Shorts, spins, but spun down at the 10, and he's short of a 1st down. Wesley Woodyard comes up with a big tackle for the Tennessee defense.
Well, the first play of this drive, they tried to go up the field, and then they were relegated after penalties and getting backed up even further into their own end to short passes, getting the football out of Blake Bortles' hand. I think one of the things they're trying to do, Steve Berline, is not make the guy hold the football in the pocket. They were backed up there. It was a bad situation. Not too many good things can happen, and it's obvious they ended up punting because of all that.
Anger with the punt to McCluster, comes up to the 47-yard line, and he's tackled at the 48, but Tennessee will start this drive with good field position. 9:10 to go, 4th quarter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon XLTE on America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network. And by Subway Restaurants. Get to Subway for the Meatball Marinara, the $5 footlong of October.
Back in Nashville, where Charlie Whitehurst is trying to help the Titans stop a 4-game losing streak. They've lost 7 of their last 8 at home as well. That dates back to last year, and they'll start this drive at their own 49-yard line. 9:10 to go.
This is the 4th time today they've started outside their own 40-yard line, contrary to what Jacksonville's been dealing with.
We're going to go to the air here on 1st down. Whitehurst scrambling, and he gets out of bounds. Well, Charlie Whitehurst recently was honored with quite a distinction. Nashville Lifestyles named him one of their most beautiful people of 2014. I love the artistic photo of Charlie Whitehurst. And when we met with him yesterday, we said, well, what was your thought process about this? He said, I wasn't sure what to do. So I actually asked the rookie, Zach Mettenberger, what do you think? And he said, are you kidding? I definitely would do it. And he did.
That wasn't exactly how Mettenberger told him to do it.
It was a little more forceful language.
It was, yes.
Well, Whitehurst got 2 there, and they go back to Sankey. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 2 for Tennessee. Cyprian makes the tackle.
You saw a little bit of Sankey there, a little bit of shake, and Cyprian able to bring him down, but after Sankey gave him the move, got an extra 4 yards after the wiggle. Cyprian, a really sure tackler, as we've mentioned already. 2 really good young players facing off one-on-one, and Cyprian getting the tackle.
And he's known as a big hitter. That's why he was the first pick of the 2nd round. He brings it every single time.
That was his 10th tackle of the game. It's 3rd down and 3 for Tennessee. Pressure coming. Walker makes the catch, but a great tackle again by Cyprian. That's his 11th tackle. Chris Clemens leveled Whitehurst on the play, and that's going to be short of a 1st down.
You see Jacksonville coming with pressure, forcing Charlie Whitehurst to throw this ball quick. They had the right play on. The ball was behind Delaney Walker a little bit, but what a big hit and a great play by Jonathan Cyprian.
Yeah, they get the stop, brings out Kern again to punt, although it's probably going to be a deep punt down into Jacksonville territory. The defense can't do anything about the field position they started with. They got the 3 and out and are giving the football back to their offense. Great stand by Jacksonville's defense.
Same spot in the field pretty much where Tennessee went for it last week on 4th and 1. Kern kicks this one away, and Huff cannot make the catch at the 1. So Jacksonville will start at the 20. That's just a net of 22 on the punt.
Come on, Steve Tasker, what the heck this guy got to do here?
Listen, I get it's hard to catch punts, but that is a blown opportunity right there for Tennessee. That's when the game, it's difficult, no question, but it's simple. It's simple. You just got to catch that, and it's 18 or 19 yards of field position, and he just couldn't get it done.
Let's get a piece of it and knock it back in. Do something. Just keep it in the field of play.
1st and 10 for Jacksonville. Denard Robinson. And he gets to the 25-yard line, a pickup of 5 on the play. Well, tomorrow on CBS, no matter the odds, these geniuses can always depend on each other. Don't miss the new hit drama, Scorpion, tomorrow at 9/8 Central after The Big Bang Theory. Jacksonville running some tempo here. They only have 1 timeout remaining. Back to Denard Robinson. And he's tackled at the 29-yard line. It's going to be about a couple of inches short of a 1st down.
Well, something to keep in mind here. You're going to see the urgency. You should see the urgency out of Jacksonville here for sure, but they need 2 scores, a touchdown and a field goal. You might see Jacksonville go with a field goal first if they get into scoring range.
3rd and 1. 3rd straight run for Robinson. He's got the 1st down. Tackle from behind by Derek Morgan.
You know, I like that Jed Fish is staying with the run game here, but the clock is ticking right now. Every time you run the ball, you're running through at least 20, 25 seconds.
Down, single.
That pass is caught by Robinson. And he gets to the 41-yard line, a 9-yard gain for Allen Robinson.
Yeah, this is a nice, sharp, crisp throw by Bortles once again, and they're going no huddle. This is what they've got to do, though. They've got to get down into scoring range, no question. And you're right, they may settle for a field goal on this drive, but they've got to get points.
Bortles keeps it himself, trying to get to the outside, and he picks up the 1st down. Well, Gus Bradley told us that Bortles has no fear. And he showed it on that play, going right at 2 defenders.
Well, again, you see the strength. I mean, they're not allowing quarterbacks that can fight through those 2 tackles and still pick up an extra couple of yards.
5:10 to go. The clock continues to tick. Bortles has 27 yards rushing today. To the air here. And that pass is thrown into double coverage. A flag is down.
Yeah, that was an early. The defender got there very early, did Griffin.
There was a lot of traffic in the middle of that field. Dangerous throw.
Pass interference. Defense, number 30. Ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Well, they call it on McCourty.
I don't think that's...
Looked like it was on Michael Griffin.
Yeah.
Free safety. In any event, it's 1st and 10 for Jacksonville. At the Tennessee 42. Bortles feeling the heat, steps up. Throws sideline, caught by Marquise Lee for a first down. And we go back to New York, JB and Coach Cowher.
Ryan Tannehill continuing to mature.
Yes, his second touchdown of the day comes off his play-action pass to Mike Wallace from 5 yards out, and they take the lead with 9 minutes left over the Green Bay Packers, 24-17.
All right, let's take it back to Andrew, Steve, and Steve.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. They corrected that last penalty. It goes against Michael Griffin. Marquise Lee picks up a first down. 1st and 10 for Jacksonville. Cecil Shorts makes this catch. Still going. Lost the football. Ball is out. And Tennessee picks it up. It's Avery Williamson down the sideline. Williamson forced out of bounds. Second turnover today by Jacksonville. And it's a killer for the Jaguars.
Cecil Shorts went down on the tackle, was trying to fight for extra yards, and was just stripped of the football.
Great effort by Cecil Shorts.
Well, watch McCourty
Look
comes
where his
in.
head is. He's looking to his left. He doesn't know someone's coming from the right. He thought he was worried about Griffin coming in, hitting from the left, but man, ball security always first and foremost. I don't know how you can expect Guts Bradley to keep his composure dealing with these kind of situations over and over again.
First fumble this season for Cecil Shorts, and no doubt the 4th-year wideout frustrated as Jacksonville was putting together a very nice drive. That's been the bugaboo for the Jaguars this season. They're failing to finish drives, whether it's with turnovers or field goals. They're not getting in the end zone. Both of those turnovers by Jacksonville today came inside the Tennessee 30-yard line. Sankey on first down, and Alu gets a hand on him. Now last week, Steve Berline made the point that with the lead, Tennessee threw the ball a lot down the stretch. In fact, 15 of their final 18 plays in the 4th quarter last week were passes. You'd expect them to try to run the ball here, kill the clock, as Jacksonville only has 1 timeout remaining.
Yeah, and they had the lead last week, too, if you remember, the big lead that dwindled and dwindled and dwindled and finally disappeared in a loss to the Cleveland Browns. And they did throw the football and continue to throw the football with Charlie Whitehurst in the game before halftime. And now with Charlie Whitehurst, a couple of big offensive linemen playing tight end and 2 fullbacks in the backfield.
Not a very smooth snap, and that'll bring up 3rd down. Coming up on the Subway postgame show, join JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show.
I want you to watch Red Bryant, number 79 right here. He just destroys Schwenke and Charlie Whitehurst and Bishop Sankey all in one swoop motion. Just destroyed this play in the back, but then takes it out on Charlie Whitehurst again. I mean, that was a mad man.
That was a road grader coming through the formation right there. Red Bryant came over from Seattle to give some depth and some experience to that front 4 of Jacksonville. That Taylor Lewan there, the rookie left tackle.
The stoppage is because Jacksonville called its final timeout with 3:30 to go. It'll be a 3rd and 15 for Tennessee following the timeout.
On a young team, that front line of the defensive unit for the Jaguars is the elder statesmen.
And you're starting to see some frustration. These guys do not think for 1 minute that they are not extremely frustrated and desperate for a win. These are men with a lot of pride. And especially the guys you're talking about coming from Seattle. They won a world championship last year. They are not used to losing ball games, and they're trying to change the culture. It's just hard.
So Jacksonville is out of timeouts. It's 3rd and 15 for Tennessee. They're going to keep it on the ground just to kill more clock. Leon Washington on the carry, and Tennessee will punt it away. So Jacksonville will get the ball back, but they're still down 2 scores, I should say, and they cannot stop the clock outside of the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about patience preached to the fans and even to the front office of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're so young, it's going to take time for them to mature, time for these players to find their legs. But believe me, there's no patience in the locker room. Every player in there and the coaches on the staff, they want to win today, right now, every week. And they feel like they can if they play well. But they have nobody, a lot of times, nobody to blame but themselves when they do take the loss.
Fair catch called for by Sanders at the 17.
And you made the point, Andrew, earlier that both of the Jacksonville turnovers, great drives, getting down into the scoring zone, both of them within field goal range at worst. You think about the significance of those. It's a 2-score ball game. And, you know, that's how close this Jaguars team is to getting that first win. They played well enough in a lot of people's minds last week against Pittsburgh to get a win. And today, I'm sure they're going to come off this field, if they don't win the game, thinking they should have.
Once again, Jacksonville starts inside its own 20-yard line on a drive. Bortles has his pass complete to Allen Robinson for a first down. Coming up, Subway postgame show. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cower. They'll have all the latest NFL scores and highlights. You'll also see bonus coverage of the Broncos and Jets. 2:20 and counting here for the Jaguars. They trail by 9. Bortles keeps it, and Woodyard and Morgan make the tackle right at the chain.
Well, Steve Berline and I are standing here watching this. Watch this play develops.
You're going to end up seeing right here down the middle of the field, that's going to be Alan Hearns. I mean, right here, Blake Bortles can just launch that thing. There's nobody down the middle of the field. Take a chance.
2-minute warning in Nashville. You're watching the NFL on CBS. No timeouts remain for Gus Bradley and the Jaguars. They trail 16-7 with 2 minutes to go. Bortles this quarter, 9 out of 12 for 72 yards.
Hey, let's go. Hey, Ram.
Right there, coming with pressure off the top. Looks like it's going to come right from here.
One on the play clock. Bortles to Shorts. He's got the catch at midfield. Good for a first down.
Tennessee did a great job checking out of the blitz that was coming when Bortles changed the play.
Bortles has 260 yards passing, and he also leads the team in rushing today with 38 yards. Fires here, and that one is reeled in by, no, incomplete. That looked like Shorts got underneath it.
Sounded like and looked like he caught it, but we'll have to wait and see. From this angle, we should have a good view of it. It sounded like his gloved hand got underneath it.
That's a catch.
Yeah, that looked like a catch to me as well. And nobody gets inside. You don't need to challenge it. It's inside the 2-minute warning, so it'll be reviewed from upstairs. And if they get, and now they're gonna,
yeah, they're gonna stop.
They're gonna stop it and look at it.
Inside 2 minutes, it can only come from the replay crew.
And this is
We're reviewing the previous play.
Yeah, that higher angle looks even more like a catch. Yeah, that's a catch.
Yeah, that's pretty clear. Yeah, pretty clear.
Yeah, I thought from up here you could hear, and when the ball is caught by a receiver, you can hear that ball slap his hands.
Right.
And it's completely different when it clips the grass. You can hear the sound of what it sounded like, and it sounded like a gloved hand, not the ground.
Cecil Shorts had that big fumble earlier in this fourth quarter. And let's listen to see if you can hear the ball with the hands. Looked like he picked it clean.
Yeah, I mean, there is still a chance it could have brushed the ground, but hitting it that hard, I don't know. I thought it was pretty obviously a catch. I actually was surprised when they called it incomplete. Cecil Shorts trying to make up for the fumble inside the 10-yard line on the last series that would have given them at least, you know, more of a chance at this point.
And Jeff Triplett coming back out onto the field.
After a review, the ruling on the field is reversed. The receiver got his hands under the ball and made a catch. The ball is at the 26.5.
Now Jacksonville needs
sideline, and the clock will start on my ready.
Jacksonville needs to be up at the line, use this opportunity to get your play called. As soon as that whistle blows, you don't want any time running off that clock.
Yeah, they're at the line. They're ready to go. 1:35.
Now the officials are getting some things set. Jeff Triplett.
That was a 23-yard gain. Bortles to Shorts. Shorts has 9 catches for 90 yards. Bortles. And he goes down.
That's a killer. The time the receivers have to get back to the line of scrimmage now, that hurts.
And it's also the receivers are gassed after running down the field. Now they got to run back and now set up and run 100% on a pass route.
Fifth sack. That was the 5th sack for the Tennessee defense. Allen Robinson runs an out route, out of bounds, and a first down. 1:03 to go.
Yeah, that was a big completion right there.
You know, we've been harping on the throws up the field, but you still have to really be encouraged by what we've seen out of Blake Bortles. He'll learn, and Jed Fish will get more aggressive with those plays up the field in time.
4th straight game with at least 5 catches for the rookie Allen Robinson. Bortles. And this time he's not going to get away. Sack number 6 for the Tennessee Titans. Cameron Wembley the first to get there.
Yeah, his offensive line just getting a little bit pushed backwards. And as the pressure comes from the outside, he has to step up, and there's just nowhere to step.
We have a player down on the field. This Jaguars team.
It's Cameron Wembley.
It's Cameron Wembley. Yeah, the most sacked team in the NFL coming into this game, and today is only added to that total.
Wembley, the former Cleveland Brown, spent a couple of years in Oakland. Now he's in his 3rd year here in Tennessee. Has 51.5 career sacks. That's nothing to sneeze at. That is a good career. He came around. See there, he hit him right on Bortles.
I think it was when he hit Bortles with his head. Watch his head kind of right there. His neck kind of popped back a little bit. No.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Now, guys, let me ask you a question. With the clock stopped and no timeouts remaining, would you kick the field goal now?
That's what we were saying before. I mean, you take the 3 right now. You try to get the ball back. That is what a large number of and he should have someone down there talking to Gus Bradley should, as we see Cameron Wembley get off the field. I would think that Jacksonville would line up right now, kick the field goal, make it a 1-score game, then try to go with the onside kick.
Kick the field goal on 2nd down.
Kick it right now.
Yeah.
You need time.
Kick it now. 38-yard field goal. You got to get 2 scores no matter what. It's a 38-yard field goal. Clock is stopped, so that's to your advantage as well.
You're exactly right. That's exactly what
it comes down to the onside kick anyway, but you're right. I mean, it gives you a chance, and even though you end up...
I've seen it done a bunch of times.
Sure.
Bortles fires end zone towards Shorts, out of bounds. Good coverage downfield by McCourty and Michael Griffin. But this is the time now even to kick the field goal. Clock is stopped again.
I agree. In my mind, it's a very clear decision.
It's 3rd and 15 as well. You're not likely to get a first down. Well, Scobie's on the sideline. He's ready to run in, but instead it's 3rd and 15, 43 seconds remain.
It's a 40-yard kick right here, too.
Not even, 38. Bortles over the middle to Harbor. Touchdown!
Now, if you throw a touchdown, then there you go.
So they put 6 on the board. Scobie will come on for the extra point, and then we'll see an onside kick.
I hear you and your percentages talking, but you guys got no faith.
I've seen a lot of coaches. I've been on teams.
Well, I was quiet before. I know that.
I've been on teams that have won games because of that type of a decision before. And sure enough, it doesn't always work. Right? I mean, right there's a great example of why you don't kick it. Great throw and catch. Right call by Jed Fish as well.
83 yards in just 2 minutes and 6 seconds on that drive for Jacksonville. Extra point by Scobie is good. It's a 2-point game. Let's go back to that touchdown, the first of the season for Clay Harbor.
Yeah, and this, once again, I mean, as we've seen Blake Bortles do, right on the money, shoots right down the middle of the defense. What a great, accurate throw. And then Harbor, just like they started out, the first completion of the day was to Harbor for a big gain, and that's the touchdown that gives them a chance, even though it's a glimmer, a chance to win.
Put that ball in the perfect spot.
So here's what Josh Scobie has done on onside kicks in his career, 3 out of 11. The last successful one was October 2 years ago at Oakland.
Yeah, Tennessee has given up an onside recovery in Indianapolis, although that was a surprise onside. Those are much more, statistically speaking, they're much more likely to work surprise onsides than regular onsides. These are really difficult to execute.
So the hands team comes out for the Tennessee Titans. Josh Scobie in his 11th year. Bounces high, and it's recovered by Griffin, but he doesn't have a full handle on it. Ball is still loose. Jacksonville indicating they have it, and they do! Griffin had it and lost it, and Jacksonville gets the ball back.
You know, the key on this one, the ball didn't even go 10 yards, but it's live because Tennessee touched it.
Right there, Griffin in his hands, dropped it.
And it looked like
36 seconds. 36 seconds on the game clock.
Yeah, they can challenge this as well. This will be...
They can't challenge. The replay review can look at it, but since it was deflected...
Watch number 53 as well, right in the middle of the screen. Right there, that ball actually hit his leg, I believe, as well. That's Quentin Groves, and then, of course, Griffin comes in to touch it. The ball never goes to 10 yards, but it's a live ball.
And it's Jacksonville football. So Scobie's career long is 59 yards. To get to that point, the Jaguars would have to pick up 17 yards, and remember, they have no timeouts remaining. Bortles' pass is knocked down by Derek Morgan.
Right. Yeah, it's a great play. I mean, at the crucial moment, that's what you've got to do, pull out all the stops. A tip pass there is huge as George Wilson comes up lame on that, stays in the game, though.
That Scobie career-long field goal was 2010 against Indianapolis. Blake Bortles with 2nd and 10. Bortles has thrown for 315 yards today. Pump fakes. With 30 seconds to go, fires to Cecil Shorts. He makes the catch at the 45-yard line. Jacksonville cannot stop the clock. They got to hustle to the line. Neither team has a timeout remaining. Bortles spikes it with 17 to go.
So he's got to get about 5 more yards to be within that 59 number for Josh Scobie, but I think he can hit from 60. He's got a strong leg.
Yeah, and with 17 seconds, they have time to go down the field and spike it once more. All they need is 1 second with a stopped clock.
Exactly.
And they can do it. So they can go much deeper than just the 40-yard line, but it's going to happen on the next 2 plays, or the second play's got to be an out-of-bounds play.
No win today. That would not be a factor for a potential game-winning field goal. Bortles fires left. Catch is made by Hearns, out of bounds at the 37-yard line. A gain of 8,
It's 50,
and now they're in field goal range.
It's 55 from right there.
I can't understand why you can have an uncovered man in the flat right there. They're going to do it on 3rd down.
And I'll tell you, you got to look at how this is going to play out. If you're the Tennessee Titans, how excruciating a loss would this be after the last week's loss to Cleveland, to come out and blow a lead like this in the last, truly the last minute of the ball game, give up 2 scores.
It'd be a backbreaker for Ken Whisenhunt and the Titans.
55-yard attempt in his career from 50 or longer. Scobie is 63%. Tennessee blocks the kick. And Jacksonville will drop its 9th straight game dating back to last year.
Looks like Sammy Hill came from the inside to get a piece of it.
The backhand.
Sammy Hill coming in sideways, swam across the center.
See the right arm go
Carson Tinker got his hand up right there, and it hit him on his right hand.
Sammy Hill knocked down 2 of Brian Hoyer's passes last week. This play will seal the win for Ken Wisenhunt and the Titans.
Yeah, the question I have is, was that kick low? Because there wasn't a lot of penetration, really.
Tennessee takes a knee, and that will do it. Blake Bortles throws for 336 yards, 159 of those in the fourth quarter. But once again, the Jaguars come up short. They fall to 0-6, and Tennessee stops a 4-game losing streak. They move to 2-4 on the year.
You're going to see a lot more from Blake Bortles as these years pass, and he certainly, even as this season passes, as Gus Bradley and the Jacksonville Jaguars are turned away once again in the win column.
Final score, Tennessee 16, Jacksonville 14. For Steve Tasker, Steve Berline, this is Andrew Catalon saying so long from Nashville. Coming up, the Subway postgame show, and we'll also have bonus coverage of the Broncos and Jets. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.